All right, friends and neighbors, welcome back. Well, it seems like this little mini series has sort of coalescing or colliding with a regular series on network topics. So this one has been about, a little bit about the job market because some questions came in. And now we've decided to do the certification pathway with the regular series of videos. And so what I thought I would do is wrap this particular series up with the jobs that are mentioned specifically on the CCNA and Network Plus pages. So under CCNA, really there are three listed there: the network engineer, and that's of course the one that we've been talking about all this time. And under that, you can see design, build, and automate physical and wireless networks. Wireless is, of course, very, very important today. Look for ways to improve the infrastructure, right? How do we optimize? How do we manage problem areas? Where are your bottlenecks? That kind of stuff. Observe and troubleshoot their systems to keep them running smoothly. So that means that we need to be able to manage the networks. We need to be able to get visibility into the networks. And we need to reduce those mean time to repair numbers, right? Fix problems as they come up. And then we've got the network administrator and the help desk administrator. Now, these are the places that we see more interfacing with people, maybe. Not to say that network engineers don't interface with people. Certainly, there are team members, and maybe you're talking to your constituencies. But here, the network administrator is described as somebody that works with a network engineer to get those networks deployed. Now, the networks could be brand new networks, or they could be redesigns or add-ons to the existing infrastructure. And this is also where we see specific devices mentioned, like routers and switches. And then, they're part of that technical support for users. Now, the help desk administrator, this is probably not the person answering the phones, maybe. Uh, this is the person that's running the people answering the phones. So a lot of interfacing with customers, clients, maybe folks outside of the company, right? Those call-in centers. And so you're running that set of systems for the users and probably have a collection of folks underneath you that are all manning the phones. So the CompTIA Network Plus lists a couple of more jobs. There are 5, I think, under that one. We've got the Tier 1 and Tier 2. So again, I included Tier 1 and Tier 2. We'll see here in a second that Tier 2 is the escalation from Tier 1. And I'm assuming that if you got the Tier 2, you already have the Tier 1. So resolve complex issues requiring detailed systems and application knowledge. And this goes right back to that knowledge level, right? We need the understanding of systems, network devices, network elements, and of course our protocols and software. IT support manager and the network administrator, these are not exactly the same role, but similar. And again, the IT support manager, you can think of that maybe as the help desk administrator from the Cisco listings, providing optimal working environments for help desk employees while enabling quick and effective resolution. So again, maybe interfacing with people, clients, might be, and your clients, again, are internal and external. And then we've got our net admin, right? The day-to-day management, again, working with that network engineer. We keep going with this with the systems administrator and the data center technician. Now, the minute you use words like administrator or technician, these are folks that are running and maintaining systems oftentimes. So that's how they're thought of. A lot of times that's how the job descriptions read. Now, the systems admin or sysadmin, this is a lot of times we're thinking inside the box. Now, that's not a strict definition, but here it says hardware and software working as intended, install applications, and maintaining user accounts and access. So a sysadmin, a lot of times, is that person working within an operating system, running services on that operating system, whether it's a web server or a database, a file server of some kind, Active Directory, right? All of these fall under the controller auspices of the sysadmin. And then, of course, we've got user account creation in there and file structures and all of that, shares. Data center is interesting because it is one of the very, very specific parts of our networks today. So whether they're on-site or off-site, the data center technician has the additional responsibilities of understanding something about a lot of hardware, maybe virtual machines, hypervisors, that sort of knowledge. And the minute we're also dealing with the data center, sometimes we've got some specialized hardware in there. So really what we're worried about is the performance of the software and the data center components. Data centers are typically made up of something that does file storage, something that runs a hypervisor, maybe a lot of RAM, and a lot of network connectivity. Now, you could argue that documenting processes and maintaining activity logs are part of any position. The lower tier positions are not usually worried about reading logs or going over those kinds of things, but there are event logs and logging servers for almost every kind of activity. And so I don't think it's limited to data center technician. Well, there we have it. This was closing up the job discussion. Now, I picked for each one of those jobs, I picked a couple of the big ideas. That's not all of them. I'll provide the links for the individual pages where those came from in the show notes. And of course, these two video series are gonna meet now because now we're gonna tackle the actual certifications. And as I said in the other videos, I'm gonna take the certifications and share my results with you. So like and subscribe for more network topics and discussion, and may those packets always reach their destinations.